I I was not trying to do a Crowder sip there, guys. I genuinely had cotton mouth going on. How you doing, everybody? I like when Michigan beat Tebow in the Orange Bowl. Hell yeah, Brent Supreme. That's up. How you doing, guys? Good morning. Welcome, or welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. I, of course, am Hat and Beard. And you, of course, are Mad Hatter Nation. Let's get after it, guys. We got news and notes from around the league. You know, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday in the off season, which means we got a couple news, a little couple article clickety news, and then we're heading on over to YouTube to do a little bit of a watchery do with you guys. We're gonna be checking out my guy Tubfrog, dude. Tubfrog. Oh shit, I gotta change the description. I forgot to at him at the description of that shit. Forgot. But Tubfrog's got a video that I'm gonna be honest. I didn't want to spoil it and watch it without you guys. I don't know if you guys know who Tubfrog is. Go over and check him out on YouTube's, right? This kid's got a really good way of telling stories, man. I very specifically waited to watch this with you guys, right? Because I thought we'd watch it together. Before we get there, though, we got to talk about Rashee Rice getting his tallywhacker slapped because, well... when given a second chance, why not just shoot yourself in the foot? NFL owners approve a record 10 international games for the 2027 season with sights on more expansions abroad. I will I'm not going to lie. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I hate it for all the reasons that you guys already know. That we're going to shift gears while continuing to talk about international games. We will specifically be looking at the Detroit Lions. And you've seen the guy on the thumbnail. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it because I'm 37 going on Paul Harvey. And then, of course, you guys know that we will end with the 2024 Detroit Lions are almost perfect. Almost perfect. A little video that our guy Tubfrog has pulled up for us. Yo, let's go. I sound like the Pebble with that kind of verbiage. I belong in Malibu. Yeah, so if you guys weren't paying attention, Pebble started swinging for Hat and Beard. Pebble started swinging for the Hat and Beard. Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so friggin' scared, Cyrus. You know what I mean, dude? Butthole. What a cheese dick, you guys. You know how it is. So do me a favor. Since let me just pull my best Jeremy from the Courting. What's going on, guys? Jeremy from the Courting, and my channel is under attack. Could you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like the video, and share it around with all of your friends? That's absolutely awesome. Hey, what's up, Raw? Thank you, dude. Hey, I found some extra money in my wallet. You need a good foundation that could use it, dude. Hey, bro, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the super over there, bro. That's very nice of you, man. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work covering the Detroit Lions. Thank you, Mr. Detroit City. We're trying to do the best that we can. Yeah, Sleepy, I made the list, dude. I made the list 100%, guys. I made the list. So, all the things and stuff, since my channel is under attack, I need to start my own coffee company and call it Brand Coffee Brand. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it Brand Coffee Brand, dude. Let's go, you guys. All right, I'm going to kick it over to my guy Jocko, and we're going to get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
I'm not even trying to talk over Jocko, but that's really funny, Kane. He call it hat and brew, dude. That's really dude. Not only am I gonna cheers up, I'm also gonna give you a tip of the hat on that one, brother. That is really funny, dude. That is, if you guys have been watching the T, if you've been following the all right, just so we're clear, the words that I'm gonna say are gonna sound absolutely ridiculous. If you are watching the Detroit Lions content creator drama unfolding, that joke is really funny. Send his lawsuits from a moldy camper. Dude, he do you think he's also moldy teeth? Dude, what if this whole time Pebble was broski. You have a beer here in Nova Scotia? Yeah. Oh, Raw. Actually, I've been meaning to ask you about that, dude. That's what tipped me off the other day when I was asking if you were from Canada. It's because you made that Nova Scotia comment. Correct. Am I misremembering, or is Nova Scotia? Isn't Nova Scotia where Trailer Park Boys takes place? Doesn't that take place in Trailer Park Boys, or doesn't Trailer Park Boys take place in Nova Scotia? And if so, just so you snowbacks are aware, yes, the whole reason that my sign off is, well, Bonga Bonga's its own thing, right? But the whole reason I hit you with the frig off, it's because I'm a Trailer Park Boys fan. That is literally where the frig. Yep. All right, cool. Hell yeah. I thought so, dude. I thought so. I was actually thinking about making a short, because you guys know I used to make like meme shorts or whatever. I was thinking of doing like a Lions like fandom and like putting the names of the different creators over the Trailer Park Boys when they're like bullying Cyrus back out of the park and making Pebble be Cyrus. You know what I'm saying? Sunnyvale Trailer Park, dude. I hope to retire there. Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. The drama is a joke. I told you about it a while ago that Don was the man. Yeah, dude. I like Don. Also, I just not to like glaze anybody. I just want to let you guys know like how far I've come. Okay. And I was very open on his comment section. Motor City Mania, right? Like I never used to be that big of a fan of him. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really dig his vibe. You know what I mean? And that's look, dude. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their own flavor or whatever. But I did watch his video yesterday about someone operating, impersonating his old channel, right? Which I thought was kind of fucked up, because it's like, why bring MCM into this? He's just over here making his content. You know what I mean? Why bring him into this? So you're bringing him into this. On top of that, you know what I really appreciate? I really appreciate it when I can consume a little bit of really good content in the morning. And shout out MCM, dude. He gets content out early, like really early. I'm trying not to swear this early in the show. Like he got it out early, and I watched his video. Come to find out, me and him apparently are in the same boat on Jared Goff. Apparently we're both just like massive Jared Goff truthers. I'm over here. Guys, you want to see something goofy? Watch a 6'4" ginger do cartwheels in his fucking gym shorts around upstairs as he's listening to him going, "Preach, brother! Preach!" Oh, he's over here preaching the truth of Jared Goff, dude, and I'm absolutely here for it. So shout out MCM, dude. Big fan of him right now, dude. Big fan of what he's doing there, dude. But yeah, Mr. Troy City, you are correct, dude. You are correct in that, yeah, you were right on Don. The thing has changed is losers and banned of Waco level followers are not. So that, you know, we're trying. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, because I've been kind of thinking about that, right? Because you're not the only person who maybe has mentioned. Let me click it over to the live chat. That some of Pebble's followers are over here, right? Let's try and give them a little bit of grace, right? Because, like, obviously people who are standing by him, not so much, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're like to a point, right? And there are people who are being very fair, you know. But if people want to come over here, you know what I'm saying? And as long as they don't bring their bullshit or whatever, you know, like maybe they just, you know, maybe the bastion of sanity in this little sea of nonsense, maybe this is exactly what they need. You know what I'm saying, dude? Maybe I can kind of do what I set out to do in mildly influence culture through football commentary. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Maybe we can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But what I need is I need all of you guys to kind of be in that same boat with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like you OG guys. You know what I mean? Like we can't be like having our defenses up right away. Now I understand to an extent, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe we try and you know, be the example that, you know, the change that we want to see in the world. You know what I'm saying, dude? So, you know, we're going to try and do a little bit with what we can. You know what I mean? We're going to make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make meatballs when we have oranges. You know what I'm saying? And my session of rock down. Yep, Raw, you did. And if you notice, dude, I haven't I don't think I've raked you over the coals at all. I don't think, Raw, I'm going to be very honest, dude. You were very upfront about it and very open. You know what I mean? You weren't like deliberately like, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, it looks like this, but, and you're open with your information. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not like going to hold you. And I don't think that I have. I don't think that I have like held you or anybody else that has come over here to some type of like struggle session. You know what I mean? Like if you want, we can discuss it a little bit. I think I've been very open with how I feel on it. And ultimately, you know, hopefully what I'm kind of hoping is that, especially as we progress into OTAs and as we move into the regular season, and not for nothing, as the Hat and Beard Show continues to grow. I mean, I didn't do it for the followers, but we're getting more followers from it, so it is what it is. It is a business thing, you know. As we kind of get towards the season, maybe we kind of put all this like past us, you know, use it as a learning experience, start to have a little bit keener of an eye for verbiage and what people are doing, you know, when they come asking for dollary dues, you know, maybe we just kind of operate at a little bit of a higher standard. You know what I'm saying? Hell, them come over here with the jerseys they won from their That's fair. Yeah, you are correct about Woodward. That's true. It is kind of a waste of time. And that's the other thing, dude, is like I'm just kind of getting like a little like just kind of over it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of like over it. It's all good, dude. You're all good, Raw. I don't recall Raw being one of the losers with no social life for real. It was more like the fake hacker Tran. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, no, Raw's cool, man. Raw's cool. And like I say, to be fair, 100% Grandma Trace, she's been here for a long time. She has been here for a like long time because she used to just hit. It used to be like her, Brandy, and Jody, and my mom, and then like Rick showed up, and then like Mr. Detroit City showed up, and then it was like Brandy and Brent DeWitt, and then like everyone just kind of like piled in. You know what I'm saying? But to be 100% transparent, like Grandma Trace has been here, and I've struggled with if it's Trace or Tracy this whole time. This whole time. I was a follower of Pebble, and then Brandy brought me over here. Hell yeah, that's what's up. Hell yeah, dude. In the chat room. For sure, you guys, for sure. Well, let's talk about football, guys. Let's talk about some football. Let's talk about some Rashee Rice getting in trouble, huh? Rashee Rice Krispie treat. He's baked. So Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice was ordered to serve 30 days in jail Tuesday after testing positive for marijuana, which violates the terms of his probation for his role in a crash that left multiple people injured on a Dallas highway 2 years ago. Yeah. I mean, you know, come on. Really, dude? Come on, man. The Texas State Attorney's Office said Rice was to report to jail immediately as part of his original sentence last July when he pleaded guilty to third-degree felony charges of collision involving serious bodily injury and racing on a highway causing bodily injury. I'm just going to say, if you weren't a famous athlete, you probably wouldn't be out on probation. Just saying, you probably would be serving some like 6 years. As part of his plea agreement last summer, Rice was sentenced to 5 years of deferred probation and 30 days in jail as a condition of his probation, prosecutors said. The agreement had given him flexibility on the time frame for serving that jail sentence. Well, it's now. Now. It's now. It's now because you couldn't do what you agreed to do. That's like part of the problem I have with this is like you can't say that they were forcing you to do this, bro. Right? Am I reading that as part of a plea agreement? In terms of his probation, was ordered for 30 days in jail, third degree. Pleaded guilty. Yeah, he pleaded guilty to third degree. So you admitted you fucked up. And to minimize the amount of punishment, we'll say, you know, to hypothetically avoid a extended time incarcerated, you said, okay, I will do this. I will do that. I will not uphold my end of the deal, and now I got to go to jail. Well, that sucks. We are aware of the reports and have been in touch with the league office. The chief spokesman told the AP, declining further comment. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy likewise said the league was, quote, aware of the report and declined to comment. Well, we're aware of it. It's on our radar. Where have we heard that before? Well, yeah, it was on our radar. We heard chatter on the cables. Messages left with Rice's attorney were not immediately returned. The timing coincides with NFL offseason workout phase, which means Rice will miss valuable work with the team. Yes, that is the thing that we need to be most concerned about, not the damage and life-changing injuries that it caused due to his reckless behavior, not the fact that he is supposed to be an athlete who's being paid a shitload of money to, do X, Y, and Z and uphold his contract. He entered a legal agreement after pleading guilty to reckless behavior, ultimately resulting in life-changing injuries to people. He said, I will do X, Y, and Z. And look, dude, I am sitting in my glass house hurling stones because I partake, right? Shucks, guys, I guess I can't be on the Pebble show because I'm smoking weed and drinking 40s. Aw, fiddlesticks, fellas. But you know what, dude? Rashee Rice, bro. You said you were going to do it and you didn't do it. Come on, man. But the important part is that he's going to miss valuable work with the team. That's the important. That's what we all need to be worried about, is that Rashee Rice is going to be missing important developmental time with the Chiefs during minicamp. We know about the incident during training camp last season. Rashee Rice said he had, quote, completely changed and grown from the experience, which resulted in a 6-game suspension handed down by the NFL for violating the league's personal conduct policy. Completely changed. I am a new man. In light of this, in light of the recent comments made by Sean McVay, in light of just certain activities in our own communities here, boy, people really show you who they are, huh? How we doing, chat? Let's go. What's up, Brandy? How you doing? Have you seen the McVay interview about golf? Raw. I haven't watched the interview yet. Like I said, I watched MCM's take on it. I have not watched it. I don't really watch a lot of Bussin' with the Boys, but I will watch the clip. I'll watch some clips of it. Because, dude, look, man, I got to agree with MCM, dude. You know what I mean? Like, imagine how much farther McVay would be. How many more accolades, how many more Super Bowls he could have. Because when you really look at the numbers, Jared Goff is actually better. If you really look at the fucking numbers of Jared Goff, he is an elite quarterback, dude. The only thing that he doesn't have is a Super Bowl ring. He's top, dude. He's top end, bro. There are people alive today that do not know O.J. Simpson was famous for playing football. They just think he's famous for unaliving 2 people. Oh, 100%, dude. And when I was a kid, before he allegedly unalived 2 people, I didn't realize he was a famous athlete. I knew him from the Naked Gun movies. I knew him as an actor. You know what I'm saying? I can quit smoking if you're paying me that kind of money. Yeah, Rick, that's the thing, dude. 100%. 100%. McVay admitted that he's an asshat. Well, McVay also probably left out that Jared Goff stooped his wife, and that's why he got mad, dude. You know what I mean? Rice basically got away with previous legal issues, so Rice only learned that he doesn't have to deal with consequences until this time. Maybe that's, I mean, we could get into the whole 2-tier justice system if you want. Look no farther than the Chud the Builder situation. But yes, athletes, people that exist with the halo effect, they are, for whatever reason, not held accountable, dude. Not for nothing, but typically, especially, and you hear me gripe about it all the time, we see people promoted to their level of incompetence. You know what I'm saying? Imagine, if you will, an organization that the person who's in charge of accounting, math is not their strong suit. So what would that corporation do? Promote him to the assistant manager of the facility. Sure. Why not? Was literally cannabis scientist. I'm a biologist. Biologist by degree, but worked in analytical chemistry. That sounds crazy. Analytical chemistry. Nice, dude. Urgent Crime was giving us the Kardashian. Bro, Kane. Oh, I'm pinning that, dude. I'm pinning that. That is fucking beautiful, Kane. Yes, OJ Simpson's greatest crime was giving us the Kardashians, bro. Oh shit, if that ain't 100%. So speaking of crimes, guys. Do I really need to get into the article, or do you know what I'm going to say? Oh, yeah, we like the footballs. We like American footballs. Look at us. We are big American football fans. We like the red helmet, blue jersey team. Yes, we do. Let us go to the football match. Yes. What kind of ball do they kick around on the football pitch? Oh, it's not football. It's American football. We play football over here. What kind of a football fan are you? I like generic blue team with generic red helmet. Let us go and watch football. Yes. Fucking bullshit, dude. So, I'm going to be honest, guys. I view this as a direct slap in the face of the American consumer. That's right, you guys. What do I bitch about all the time? It's all about the money, money, money. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at how much money you're having to now fork over to watch all the streaming services, right? And you then see the NFL going, hey, guess what, bud? Yeah, you're going to have to get up super fucking early to watch an international game. Yep. And on top of that, that international game, your city misses out on all the revenue. In fact, what we do as the NFL is we collectively take the international games and put it in a pot. And then we equally distribute that to all 32 NFL teams. So not only do the teams miss out on profit generation for their own stuff, but the ripple effect of the community and this it just goes to show you how ridiculous I am right now. The state mixes out on so much taxable revenue, both at the immediate venue and the surrounding venues. You know what I mean? Travel. On top of that, the cost of the ticket to the consumer. NFL international games are significantly more expensive to attend than domestic games. Ticket face values for international games range from $80 to $510, but secondary market media prices soar to $1,000 to $1,800. In contrast, domestic games average between $145 and $430 per game. So not only is there a markup on the tickets, making it more unattainable, but if you, the American stateside blue blood, blue collar consumer, thinks that you're going to go on a trip to the international game, I think the tickets out of Detroit going to Germany were starting at a little over $3,000. Let's go ahead and just pull up the old Google box. Googly doogly doo. What week would that be? NFL week. What is that? Week 10? Is it Delta Airlines? Delta Premium, Delta. Okay, so it looks like Delta's running nonstop flights out of Detroit. Am I reading that right? Hey, here we go. Some CBS News. Can I get a price? Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions, over serving fans of both teams heading their respective teams. Delta Airlines. All right, so Delta's flying the flights to Germany. Can I get a... Do we guys know a price? I swear I seen like $3,000. Utilizing the Airbus. Damn, dude. That's a big motherfucker, dude. Where should we fly to? Frankfurt, Germany? Where's it going? To Munich? When the hell would that be? November 11th? And that would have said through the 16th. Returned on the 16th. Done. Sorry this is so boring, guys. I should have done this beforehand. Is the Lufthansa for $1,200? They're for under $1,000 depending on the day you fly. Oh, gotcha. Hell yeah. All right, so here you go. Yeah, so early reporting. Yeah, I did see, because I also seen that as well. Shout out Art, appreciate it, brother. Yeah, they did say the German company. I'm not even gonna try Lufthansa. But the Delta flights, holy shit! Look at that, they're already sold out. Oh, yeah, it's gonna start at $2,700. Let's go. For your nonstop, your lowest fare is gonna get you about $1,700. What'd you have for us, Art? About $1,200 over on Lufthansa. Yep, that's the German airline. There you go. There you go. So not only is it going to cost you an arm and a leg, dude, to go, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to get the ticket. Your state, your city, and your team is going to miss out on all that revenue. Oh, and one more thing. Oh, it also costs the team more money to send the team there. Ah! Yeah. I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad that my German cousins get to enjoy the games that I can't even afford to go to the team that lives in the state for me. They're about an hour, a little over an hour drive for me, and I can't even afford to go. Wouldn't I even want to drive my car that far down the fucking road because my state, which is now missing out on taxable revenue to fix the fucking roads, the roads are so goddamn bad. Don't worry. Hey, you know what? You know what? You know what? John T. Taxpayer, John T. America, Joe Sixpack. Yeah. Just sit on your couch. You don't deserve it. Your decades of fandom, ups and downs. Nah. I don't care about you. I want international audiences. I want an empire. I want the globalists. Let's go, you guys. Oh, man. All right. Speaking of globalists, the NFL's latest development could eventually see the Lions in a yearly Germany game. Huh. You know, taking in everything that I just said about the taxable revenue and looking at how, in the 1940s, Detroit was arguably one of the wealthiest cities in the world, dubbed the Paris of the Midwest. You look at how far the city and the state of Michigan, the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan has fallen, and how one of the things that we do have that you can, hang your hat on to generate a little bit of taxable cash revenue for the city, for the state, for the businesses locally who are trying their absolute best to fill the giant hole left in the economy from when, these people that want to go international decided to ship all of your manufacturing jobs off overseas and said, hey, Joe Sixpack, John T. Taxpayer, Johnny America, go fuck yourself, right? Figure it out. They're now saying, hey, you know what? I see you little bastards. I see you scrimping and crawling and trying everything you can to be the change and save your city that you love, the team that you love, the state that you are a part of, your community, your local community, black, white, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. Your community. You know what? We're going to make it harder on you. Yeah. In fact, we just might take one of your games and put it internationally every year. Oh, but you like that, right? Oh, because Amon-Ra's German, right? Come on now. It's all about the German brothers. Come on, man. When I say Detroit versus everybody, I don't mean just the Lions. I don't mean just the Pistons or the Tigers or the Red Wings. I mean the people, the city, the state, for whatever reason, the shot callers, the playmakers, the people who decide how things evolve, decided almost 100 years ago that the city of Detroit is not allowed to succeed. You must fail, come hell or high water. Whatever you do, however industrious you think you might get, we are going to take our big globalist thumb and we're just going to squash you. And then we're going to take our even bigger other globalist thumb and we're going to put it in places that I can't talk about on YouTube. But here you go, NFL, considering the Lions being a yearly German game, it's time to stop beating around the bush and just say things out loud that the NFL hasn't quite said yet. They want to take over the world. Well, yes, they haven't directly said that, Mike the Slipper Payton. But when you crunch the numbers and you look at how big of a economic entity Roger Goodell has set out to be, the only way that one can get to those numbers is to become a global entity. On Tuesday, it announced that the NFL will be going from having 8 international games to 10 international games in 2027. Hooray! In addition to that, they took away the ability for teams to protect certain games that they want to keep at home. So, hey, you don't even have a say in the games. We're just going to, you know what? Oh, boy, you can really have a nice rivalry match lined up between one of your divisional opponents, and boy, your fans are just salivating their silvers. Oh, it's going to be a raucous stadium, brother. You don't want to go in there. And guess what? Roger Goodell says, off to Germany with Lederhosen. You're going to be generic blue team, and you're going to be generic red helmet team. And we're all going to go to the Brewhouse, and we're going to have a lot of time watching the American football. Yada-da-da-da-da. Bunch of fuckheads, dude. You're crazy if you think the NFL wants to just stop there. It's going to take a very long while. But the NFL eventual goal is likely to be a worldwide league that has teams in Canada, Mexico, and good old, how would you say England in Muslim, and Germany, maybe even more than that. This is going to be so far from where we're at now that there's a good chance we won't live to see it really unfold. Yeah, because I want to be, when the NFL goes, NFL worldwide, I'm going to be spinning in my grave, dude, because, you fucking kidding me, dude? You fucking kidding me, dude? But there's really only way to get there. It's slowly unfolding. The NFL has been doing, getting more games into more countries and growing the popularity of American football. No! You fail! Slipper. You just conceded defeat. You in your own article just said growing the popularity of American football. Are you really a football fan? Or are you one of them soccer guys? You just called football American football. I don't like that. I don't like that, dude. I don't like that. That really chaps my ass, dude. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. The Lions could wind up being one of those teams that plays an annual international game, and that would be logical. And the game would be logically in Germany. It makes, well, I mean, if you want to go into the whole Henry Ford German connection, yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? It just makes too much sense to ignore. The Lions have German star on their team already, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yep, there's absolutely no other ties between the team owned by the Ford family, historically, and Germans. There's no connection there. It's all about Amon-Ra, right? They have the German Instagram account that has 42,000 followers and counting. They have the German version of Rory, named Leo. Lighty-die-pee-die-tee-die-tee-die. There he is. Oh, yeah. The Lions have been working to grow their popularity in Germany for a long time now. Yeah? Since like the 30s? Well, since 2024 to be exact. I'd go a little bit farther back than that. It's been working, not to mention they really want to play there. Like, bad enough to forego a bye week to get it done. No! Rod Wood wants to be a asshole, and he wants to go to Germany while he's the president and CEO of the Lions, dude. That is Rod Wood being an asshole and deliberately shitting in our hat, okay? Knowing that there wasn't going to be a bye week after the international game playing and then having to fucking grind it out. Then we fucking got to play Tampa, and we turn around and do Thanksgiving. Rod Wood knew what he was doing, and Rod Wood is just that typical selfish boomer asshole, dude. That's all it really is, dude. He's just obviously a bummer for Lions fans because they would theoretically lose a home game at Ford Field every year. Detroit ready to handle that type of financial fallout from their darling, right? Let's be honest, the Lions are making a lot of money for the city of Detroit, dude, right? When the Lions win, we all win. You know what I'm saying? Businesses are a little bit more hopping. People spend a little bit more money. Jersey sales are a little bit more up. Tickets are being sold. Parking. Everything. Ripple effect. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. A horse is a horse. Of course. Of course. And Detroit can't have all their home games because you're making too much money. Of course. Of course. So, off to Germany with you. Goodbye. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Bonjour. All right, how we feel about the chat before we get into Tubfrog here? Morning, hat. What's up, Derek? How you doing, man? Have to bring back the European leagues if they want worldwide football. 100%, dude. Yep. Hit that like, subscribe, share. Anyone who likes comedic Lions content, thank you, Raw. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Brent, I know. It fluctuates between Irish, German, and it's just generic European. Not American. How's that? It's just my not American accent. If it ain't American, it's shit. Hell yeah. That's what's up, guys. We can have hat beard Catholic service right here instead of watching international games. Yeah, dude. I mean, I get up early. I go to the 8 a.m. mass, dude. We're there early as fuck, dude. Me and all the other old folks. Goodell said the plan is to get 8 home games and the 9th international for every team. Gotcha. So they want to expand the season then, right? So is that what I'm reading then? We want to expand it out to what, 19 games? 19 regular season games? Players can't stay healthy and keep playing overseas on shitty soccer fields. Hey, Sam, good point, dude. That turf is shit, dude. Yeah. Hat and mask. Hey, man, I ain't gonna preach at you, dude, but I'll talk about the word of God with you guys, but I ain't gonna preach at you. If I was Eric, I would take notice of what Chef said. Plus, I would be concerned about Will dragging his good name down. I don't know Brian, I don't know who Eric is. I've heard this name Eric been thrown around a bit. I don't know who Eric is. Again, though, I have to be very transparent with you guys. I don't like watch enough of Lions content to know who all the players are. Like I knew Syndicate and I knew well, I mean, I didn't know them. But like I knew of them prior to all of this, but that's because like I've been subscribed to their channel for fucking years. And then I knew Dion, or I knew of Dosa Dion. And then recently, like I've been watching, and I knew of MCM. He wasn't my vibe, dude. But now I watched a little bit more of him. I like Don P. Don P's funny. Don P's funny, dude. And I really like I've been watching Dergo's content. I think he and I are seeing a lot of the same things, dude. Like my guy is hype on Thomas Harper. And I thought I was the only dude. I thought like me and Brent Supreme were the only people like, hey, Brent, Thomas Harper's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? No, 17 game schedule equals 8 games and 1 international. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I never said math was my strong suit. Fuck the player's health. Exactly, Derek. Exactly, dude. You know what they should do, bro? Is just move the UFL over to Europe because it sucks over here. It's a trash product. Give them give Euro trash a trash product. Eric has his own real company. Does a lot with potato. Oh, okay, gotcha. For sure, Jack. Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I don't really know these cats so much, dude. I'm just kind of meeting some of these dudes. Dan Jackson, sir, was a 4-year starter at UGA and 2-year cat. Yeah, dude. We forget about Dan Jackson, dude. Do you think Dan Jackson is able to climb up onto the active roster this year? Barring any injuries. Joseph Dion was the first creator I supported. I followed him since the very beginning. He was like 17. Yeah, and that's dude. I remember when I first seen Dosa Dion, I was like, damn, look at this kid. He's young as shit. Again, I don't watch enough of these people's content to know. Did last I knew, like Dion was like supposed to be going to school to become like an NFL scout or whatever. Is he doing that? Is that what he ended up following through? I feel like I've asked this before, guys. I'm so sorry. I got the bad memory. It's all the blunts and 40s, you know. All right, guys. So here we go. Tubfrog's going to tell us why the Detroit Lions were almost perfect. The 2024 Detroit Lions. Sorry.
Okay, so the Detroit Lions were incomprehensibly dominant in 2024. Their offense had no answers whatsoever, to the point where a 50 bomb was just another normal day in the office. They were busting all over everyone, and their style of play, led by the mad scientist himself, Ben Johnson, was revolutionary. And this team had no weaknesses at all and were on an inevitable pace to become one of the best teams of all time. But it all crashed and burned in the most horrific way possible starting in week 1, where the Detroit Lions were known to be a strong team, like really good. PFF had them at number 5 before the season, but still very clearly behind the usual big dogs, like the 49ers, Chiefs, and Bills. But they were not short on weapons, okay? David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams were all some of the best at their position in the NFL, while the offensive coordinator Ben Johnson piloted this corpse-churning machine, while Jared Goff at quarterback was the main assassinator. And in week 1, they had a tame 26-20 overtime win versus the man whose very soul was beaten out of him in this stadium. But this new age of Detroit Lions football would finally honor the ghosts of Stafford, Barry Sanders, and Calvin Johnson. And through 3 weeks, although the Lions had averaged 20.6 points per game, which is kind of solid, I guess, they had clear weaknesses. In a week 2 loss versus the Bucs, they had 6 red zone drives without a touchdown, which hasn't happened since 1981. But then, when their offense clicked, it clicked, man. Cause once more, this dude right here, this absolute sicko who hates Matt LaFleur almost as much as he hates wearing shirts, Ben Johnson, the
Small
offensive
PP Benedict
coordinator,
Arnold Osama
was
Ben Johnson, traitor in the Windy
cooking up
City.
something vile, and little nuggets of his genius were there early, and he managed to make people pay attention to Cardinals versus Lions for like the first time in NFL history when he drew up this play to intentionally have Amon-Ra lateral it to Jahmyr Gibbs for a score, and this became the Ben Johnson signature play. He whipped it out a few more times, and it worked again versus the Niners, with this play also being stolen with success by a lot of teams in just one season. So heading into week 4, the Lions were still very good, but Ben Johnson and head coach Dan Campbell still had a lot of work to do. They had a primetime game versus the Seattle Seahawks, and the whole world would be watching. Would this team become perfect and finally become the Detroit Lions team that this city had dreamed
No.
about for decades? And what happened? Well, they
It all
put on
fell
a
apart.
movie so grand.
What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time we tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Oh my God, I'm a millennial!
And so incredibly impactful and moving that it would have brought Quentin Tarantino himself to tears. Now, there weren't any feet, but it was a masterclass in offensive domination. Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald, who has been heralded as the greatest defensive mind in the league nowadays, got on his hands and knees and just took it for 60 minutes. And Ben Johnson didn't bring any lube. Jared Goff went 18 for 8.
Y'all see why I like Tubfrog? He's funny.
18 for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns. He didn't throw a single incompletion, and that wasn't even like in the top 3 of the craziest batshit things to happen on that Monday. Because David Montgomery turned into Marshawn Lynch for a play. Jared Goff also caught a touchdown, and Kenneth Walker on the other side of the ball made a play that I have never seen in my life before, where he somehow wasn't down here. So the undefeated Seahawks fell 42-29 at the hand of the reborn Lions, fixing their red zone issues completely as they made the necessary adjustments, leveraging all aspects of their offense, as this time in the red zone, they scored a touchdown on all 5 attempts. So yeah, they figured it out, which meant the rest of the NFL was about to feel the wrath of hatred that the Lions have suffered for the last 75 years. The Bobby Lane curse was finally gone, and they unleashed a scourge onto the NFL that we have yet to see since. In Week 6 on national television, they played what many thought to be before the season a contending Dallas Cowboys team. Now it's the fucking Cowboys, so obviously that all went to shit in Week 1, but they still weren't a terrible team yet. And the Lions didn't give a shit, though, as they dropped 47 on Dallas on the road, and Jared Goff had another 153 passer rating, who was just fully in control of everything. So surely Week 7 would be a coming back down to earth type game for the Lions, right? They played against another one of the best teams in the league, in the Minnesota Vikings, led by Justin Jefferson, a revived Sam Darnold, and the best defense in football, arguably, spearheaded by a chaotic front seven. So everyone was ready to see how Goff and the Lions would respond, as historically, Jared Goff has struggled pretty heavily versus teams who can bring pressure fast. And although the Lions dug themselves in a 0-10 hole because of Dan Campbell wheelbarrowing his testicles out to midfield and failing a fake punt, they did fight back with 21 unanswered points by the offense before halftime. Again, versus the league's best defense. That is crazy to do. And from here, it was a full playoff game, as the Lions dropped 31 in total, which was enough for a close win. And this would be the most any team scored on the Vikings all season long, or tied with the Detroit Lions from later this year. So then, we got to the Week 8 game where the Detroit Lions got to play against the 1-6 Mason Rudolph-led Tennessee Titans. And I genuinely remember just seeing the Titans on that schedule and feeling horrible for them, because we knew how this game was going to end, but you couldn't look away because you knew the Lions offense was special. You knew they were going to pull something crazy out. I mean,
yeah,
we
all
knew the
22
bomb
has some
was
really
gonna
good
go
shit,
off.
you
I
guys.
just didn't know when. And this game was like if you dropped a bloody seal into a megalodon tank and the Titans got massacred. The battlefield was full of wounded soldiers and shattered dreams, and after scoring 52 points in just 3 quarters, they could have easily scored 70 plus if they wanted to, by the way. There was no arguing it. None at all. The Detroit Lions were the best team in the NFL. No questions asked. But there was one issue, and it happened on October 13th, 2024. Because on that very day, the Detroit Lions took on the Dallas Cowboys. And like we already talked about, they cremated them. But they paid a tax for it, because their defense had been elite all season. They had been drafting amazingly over the past few years. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Aiden Hutchinson. But the first domino fell when the Defensive Player of the Year frontrunner, Aiden Hutchinson, broke his leg. And he was out for the season. Unless Detroit made the Super Bowl, then there was a small window that he could make his return. But then came more injuries. Aleem McNeil, a massive piece in stuffing the run at defensive tackle and getting pressure, was injured. DJ Reader, the other defensive tackle, injured too. Derek Barnes, Emmanuel Mosley, Alex Anzalone, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Carlton Davis. I mean, this is getting fucking evil from the football gods. So this was it, right? I mean, this Bobby Lane curse was still here that was put on them like 70 years ago, which said they would never win anything right, and they just fell apart due to the injuries. But that's not
I would
really
say
what
that
happened.
the Lions looked lost on offense last year. I think that the potato, Johnny Morton, I think he did everything he could to absolutely retard the growth and development of the Detroit Lions. I think he's grossly underqualified to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL, and he was trying to run high-level high school football players in the NFL. I put a lot of it on John Morton, coupled with the injuries, the drop-off from Frank Ragnow to Glasgow, the inexperience, although better play later on down the season of Tater Ratledge, and then the rotating door at left guard. Taylor Decker also took a Taylor Decker-sized step back last year. There was a lot of things going against the Lions. The decreased usage of David Montgomery, lots of issues. I don't know if it was necessarily all on Ben Johnson per se, though he does come up with some interesting plays. And I'll be very honest with you. I tried to support John Morton when we hired him. But now I can honestly tell you with my full chest, and I was open to it mid-season. Johnny Morton was not the guy. John Morton was never going to be the guy. He was underqualified and proved that he was underqualified mid-season. That's why Dan Campbell took play calling away from him. That's why Dan Campbell, and I think Dan Campbell learned from his mistakes and got two of the best minds he possibly could to coordinate and call the offense for the Lions this year. And now he can kind of help focus with Calvin Shepard in the growth and development of his career, while the Lions defense, which actually is the catalyst to our success. Kirby Joseph's interceptions, our takeaway ability, is the catalyst to why our offense has higher, more inflated numbers. And I don't mean inflated in a negative way, but we have more possessions, so we're ultimately going to have more numbers because we have more cracks at it on offense. I think that with Dan Campbell allowing Lil Spud and the mad scientist Mike Kafka to just go ahead and cook over there on their own, he doesn't have to help focus on that as much as he did, especially last year when he had to take over play calling for Johnny Mo screens, and he can kind of help Calvin Shepard. And I think we'll see an ascension as well as a hybridization and revolution of the Detroit Lions defense this year, coupling that with what should be projected out as a more stabilized offensive play calling, offensive scheme, and offensive line with Jahmyr Gibbs hitting his stride. I do think Isaiah Pacheco will perform admirably, if not outperform the production of David Montgomery last year. Do we get 2024 David Montgomery production numbers out of Isaiah Pacheco? That has yet to be seen. It depends on how we deploy the running game. Okay. I think JMO goes over 1,000 yards. I think Amon-Ra goes over 1,500 yards. Sam Laporta is healthy, goes 700 to 1,000 yards. Very easy. Again, I'm calling for JG16 to easily. If you just follow the numbers, if every domino hits the way that it's supposed to, JG16 for MVP, 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 2,600 all-purpose production yards on the ground and 26 touchdowns, while Aiden Hutchinson has 26 sacks. It's the big 2-6 in the big 2-6.
And instead, miraculously, the Lions played harder and might have been even better. But first, we need to talk about whatever the fuck
Thank
the
you,
Texans
Brian.
was.
Brian, I think you're kind of new here, man. So a lot of these guys have kind of heard that before, but thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your compliment, man. It's something I've spent a lot of time thinking on, and the numbers kind of back it. If you actually look at the takeaway numbers that just Kirby Joseph alone is capable of doing, I actually have been saying for a while now that Kirby Joseph being hurt last year was the number one reason why the Lions weren't so successful, just based on his production on defense, his takeaway ability, and the cleanups that he does while lurking at the safety position, while our albeit one underperforming and inexperienced, one being hurt corners are left to hang out there on an island. Kirby Joseph has enough fluidity in his hips, speed, cerebral ability, and the cognitive ability to diagnose plays on the fly that I think lends itself from his experience in college, playing the wide receiver before transitioning to safety at the back end of his collegiate career. I think he has a little bit more of insight on how plays develop. He looks at certain things, specifics, how players operate, and he can see the play. Maybe it's because he's a film junkie. Maybe he just has that. But if you look at Kirby Joseph's production. There is only one player in the history of the NFL who has even matched his numbers in the number of years of interceptions, as in number of years in the league, number of career interceptions at that position. That's Hall of Fame safety Ed Reed. So, Kirby Joseph's kind of an important character to the Lions' success.
I still don't know how to explain what happened in this game, and I've seen the full game twice and watched the highlights multiple times. Dude. So this was a head-hunting Texans defense. So Detroit's offense struggled a ton, or more specifically, Jared Goff did, and the man wanted that interception record badly. The same guy who had multiple 150-plus passer rating games just this season and was captaining the potential best offense in modern history threw a total of 5 interceptions. But still, they won the game because the Texans fucked up enough to let Jake Bates, the Lions kicker, who was only here because their other kicker, the Money Badger, got hurt too, kicked a 58 and 52-yard field goal to win the game at the buzzer and remain
the
with
ballad of Jake Bates, baby.
Loss. So despite everything the football gods threw at the Lions, just like every season, they refused to slow down. And the coaches and players were just in complete symbiosis. They dropped another 52 nuclear detonation on the Jaguars in Week 11 and escaped the Packers and Bears with close wins to stay at 12-1. Now at this point, while Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, was holding the defense together with zins and pure vibes and somehow had the 8th man on the bench and the fucking water boy playing some solid defense, the offense knew what Roy...
Bro, I'm gonna just rewrite that. If that ain't the most accurate depiction of how our defense looked in 24, held together.
Now at this point, while Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, was holding the defense together with zins and pure vibes and somehow had the 8th man on the bench and the fucking water boy playing some solid defense, the offense knew what royal
zins and vibes.
People were starting to talk about this Lions offense in the same vein as the 2007 Patriots, the 2013 Broncos, and 1998 Vikings. Historic offenses that, fell completely short. Mm-hmm. And while they wanted to model those teams' blueprints in some ways, they also wanted to alter the ending a bit. And they had a great chance to do that. Because as of Week 11, the Lions scored on 36% of all drives, which was the 4th highest rate in the past 25 years, while averaging 32.2 points per game, which again ranks 5th in the last 25 years. And remember, this is with them playing Hendon Hooker in most of the fourth quarters. They were straight up resting all their starters in a majority of their fourth quarters. This was the best start to a season in Detroit Lions history by a lot, and I wouldn't be shocked if they never have a better start in any year ever. And at this point, it felt like the Lions had the weight of the entire city on them. Dan Campbell knew this might be the team's last shot to win it all with this core, and it was a bummer that they suffered so many injuries, but regardless of all that got in their way, they just kept moving forward. So although they fell in Week 15 versus the Bills, they dropped 42 points.
Let me counter that, Raw, because I don't think that you are wrong. I don't think Amon-Ra I don't think J-Mo will overtake Amon-Ra as the perceived number 1. I think what you will probably see is an uptick in overall productive numbers. So higher, what you could see with J-Mo easily, and I do think this is a very easily attainable statistic. The big 3, receptions, yardage, and touchdown. I think there is a world where Jameson Williams very easily bypasses Amon-Ra as far as touchdowns on the season and overall receiving yards if we pop the top on the defense the way that J-Mo can do, right? I don't know, though, if there's a world where Amon-Ra or J-Mo ever passes a healthy Amon-Ra in terms of receptions to a impactful degree, right? I'm talking 30-plus catches more than Amon-Ra, barring any injuries. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that you are correct that Jameson Williams has the ability. He is more than capable of being a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. That is why I've said he's the absolute luxury to the Detroit Lions being at a number 2. And I do think that he has the ability, if the offense is drawn up to it, to your point, if Petzing goes that route, which I really think Petzing and Kafka are going to be fucking terrifying, man. If they decide to go deep, popping the top a lot on J-Mo, very easily 1,700 yards, 16 touchdowns, while Amon-Ra's, so Amon-Ra, plus 120 catches, but only like 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I think you are correct, dude. Not just the mid and deep game. Laporta comes back healthy. Hell yeah, for sure.
And the offense at least tried. They just got outgunned by Josh Allen. And then, though, week 16 would come. And still to this day, what I'd like to
see is if we were to this is just for argument's sake, right? For example, if we were to draw up, like, say, every third game where we decided to invert the roles of Amon-Ra and J-Mo, I think J-Mo could be even more dynamic if we were to integrate him into the short and pass and then run after the play. I think J-Mo is so dynamic after the catch. We just are underutilizing that ability. You know what I'm saying? I think he's very fluid, very fast. You know what I'm saying? I was watching ASB highlights, and J-Mo's pulling 2 and 3 DBs, drawing. Hell yeah, dude. I think chemistry between Amon-Ra and Goff is still greater than J-Mo as long as he remains Amon-Ra. Snake, that's kind of why I was saying is like the perceived one. I do think that there is just that built-in chemistry, between Amon-Ra and Goff. But there is a chemistry between Amon-Ra or Goff and J-Mo. If you look at it, Jared Goff is only successful historically with players that he has a rapport with over, a less than or greater than 2 game spread. You know what I'm saying? He needs a little bit of time with these guys. But once he understands how these guys play, Jared Goff is the king of putting the ball right where they want it. You know what I mean? He can put that fucker wherever they want. It's almost like Jared Goff can he can become the water forming to fit the hole of the puddle. You know what I'm saying?
From time to time. Disrespectful game versus a divisional opponent in my life. Well, I can probably think of one, but we don't need to talk about that. But before we continue, this video is sponsored by Prize Picks. But before Game 7 of Cavs versus, if you could do so responsibly, please, and without further ado, let's get back to the video. Anyways, versus the Bears, the Lions pulled off a play that you would scream at your friend for trying, just throwing around in the backyard. But they did it, as they had Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs fall on purpose, which actually fucking worked, because it's Matt Eberflus and the Bears, and the Lions were just so dominant on offense this season.
Eberflus and the Bears.
They were testing out new plays on full-on NFL teams. Genuinely humiliating for the Bears, but that was honestly normal for them that year, so I guess it makes sense. And after closing out the 49ers, they set up a Week 18 rematch versus the Minnesota Vikings. And this game was for all the marbles, because both teams had been so amazing this year, it felt wrong that there was only one #1 seed. And they were also in the same division, which made things even more brutal because whichever team would win would get the first round bye, while the other would be sent on the road to play against the Super Bowl grizzled Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford, who were primed for an upset. And how'd the game go? Well, Samuel Darnold just kinda stained his pants right away, and then he just sat in it all game. He was putrid, and the Detroit Lions just stood there, dropped another 31 points, and grabbed the #1 seed, which was huge, because they needed this time to heal for just even a little bit. Because although the offense was still mainly pretty healthy, the defense, which played out of its mind versus the Vikings, needed every bit of rest they could get.
Yep.
And so the 2024 Detroit Lions regular season came to an end. And again, I'm sorry, but I need to nerd out about this offense. And I won't ignore the eye test, too.
I agree.
It was just a beautiful orchestra of an offense to watch. It flowed perfectly. All the players got involved, besides Sam Laporta, but he was still great. But this team was just special. They never lost on the road all year long. They scored 564 points total, the most by any team this season, and the 4th most of all time. They just had so much talent to not be this dominant too. So thank God they lived up to their potential. And I haven't even mentioned the offensive line, which was the key to everything. Because yeah, they had Gibbs, J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Laporta, and more, but the trenches had Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, and Penei Sewell, who specifically was a top 10 player in the league this year. So who would face the immortal Lions in the divisional round? Who was gonna come to Motown to take on this 8-headed dragon? And well, it was a rookie, and his name was Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels was having his own miracle of a season. They just narrowly beat the Bucks in the wild card, but they've been having crazy games all season long. The Hail Mary versus the Bears, whatever the hell the Dallas game was, and so everyone tuned in and was excited to see the Lions take care of business to move on to face the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. But remember how I said they were immortal? Well, that's not really true. They were a corpse by this point. A strong corpse, but it's, you know, I thought of a good analogy here, but I'm not trying to spoil Jujutsu Kaisen for any of you that care. The point is that the defense was ass. They were ass on paper, but they were still playing hard, man. But still, even if all the injuries caught up to Detroit instantly in the biggest game of the year, which would be pretty f***ing unfortunate, the offense could outgun anyone still. Surely, especially a rookie and a defense which had like Bobby Wagner, who was 81 years old and not all that much else, stood no chance. And well, the first half made it seem like we were going to get an all-time great game. The Lions offense was chefing it up early. Ben Johnson was not f***ing around. He was Gordon Ramsay in season 2 of Hell's Kitchen. And after a 3-and-out, the Lions easily went down the field and tapped it in for a walk-in score. But the Commanders stole the momentum right back with a fumble recovery, a 4th-and-3 conversion, and a score of their own to make it 10.
Hey, Raw, I don't know how to calculate that goofy math into freedom units. I don't what is a 1800 km? I only understand freedom units, brother.
7 Commanders. And these two, Jaden Daniels and Jared Goff, were throwing haymakers.
You guys, Jared Goff's superpower is that he's the Iceman. Nothing rattles him. He's got ice in his veins, dude.
Goff falling over threw a touchdown to Sam Laporta, who caught it with one
Kilometers.
hand. And then the Commanders
What kind of a price do you
responded
get for
right
a
away with a
kilometer?
60-yard touchdown. What is happening?
I got a
It's
voltmeter.
the mid-second
I
quarter,
got a
man, but
voltmeter and a
first real domino for
and a
the
meter
demise of the
reader.
Lions'
I ain't got
perfect
one of them
season fell.
kilometers.
And
What
Jared
kind of price
Goff
you get
just
for the kilometer?
got greedy. Instead of hitting a wide-open Laporta,
It's
Goff
Kristen
went for
Harper.
a money ball. Was picked
Hell
off for
yeah,
6.
Mr. Detroit
Frank
City.
Louvu just popped. Jared Goff got laid out onto the field and missed the whole next series. So this was the situation now. I mean, I love Teddy Bridgewater as much as the next guy, but the dude was a high school football coach like 4 weeks prior to this, and the whole stadium was dead silent. But no, Ben Johnson was not going to go out like this, and they drew up a Gibbs flip play to Jameson Williams, who took it all the way for a score, and look, he did the thing. He did the fucking celebration. God, why? This was an all-out gladiators
Brian
battle.
Branch.
Two teams that were opposing each
Look at
other in
Branch.
terms of fate, but yet wanted the same destination. Neither team could
That's
be
such a
stopped
cool
at
picture.
all. I mean, the Commanders had 31 points at halftime, which is horrible.
They measure
Don't get me wrong,
lines
for
and
the Lions defense,
lines
but
and
not
length.
insurmountable. And the Lions had 3 turnovers, 2 on offense, with 21 points, which, you know, has good and bad elements.
You know, Raw, the thing is, though, is the whole world is allowed to use those goofy-ass units because our freedom units keep everything flowing, brother.
To it, but their defense just needs to get a stop. The Lions offense has proven that they can hang and they can get back in this game if they just buy them a possession or two. And so they did what they always did. Ben Johnson made up another play with a pitch to Monty, who lateraled it to Amon-Ra, which led to a Gibbs score. Just beautiful football overall. Again, that's why I love this team so much, man. No team has ever been so exciting to watch on offense in all of my years of watching football. But, Jaden Daniels just wouldn't fucking die. The Commanders answered back with a 4th down conversion, and then the second domino fell as the Lions had 12 men on the field on the most important play of the game, which gave the Commanders another 4th down conversion, and they scored to again make it a 10-point game, 38-28. But you know, I truly think the 2024 Lions went out at least in the
What's
most
up,
Detroit
Riley?
Lions
How you
way
doing,
possible.
man?
You live by the Ben Johnson.
How you doing, brother?
You die by the Ben Johnson. So, of course,
Hopefully
the
you're having
play
a good
that
morning,
truly
dude.
closed the door on a comeback came on a Jameson Williams interception. Like, J-Mo was the one who threw the pick. Ben just got a little ambitious with the play call. J-Mo made a bad decision, and the already exhausted Lions defense, which had been obliterated all game long, again allowed another 4th down conversion and then another score, which meant the Commanders took a 45-28 lead, a lead they would never, ever let go of, allowing the 3rd most points against them in a playoff game in franchise history, against a team with a rookie quarterback, no less. And in the end, this team just should have walked to the NFC Championship game, ended up suffering too many injuries. Their offense was dominant, experimental, revolutionary, and explosive, but in the end, they failed and just barely missed out on perfection. It was so sad, man. I wanted them to win the Super Bowl, but anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe.
Hell yeah, Raw. That's what's up. Look at you, Raw. See, dude, that's why I like you guys, man. Bunch of grown-ass men in the chat, dude. That's awesome, Raw. I hope Riley's cool with that, man. You know what I mean, dude? That's really. I think that's really big of you, dude. I don't know what, if anything, was said. Okay, so I'm not gonna go into that. But I think that's very big of you to say that, dude. That is a grown ass man statement right there, dude. So I appreciate it. Why are we leaving? Because Jack, I want us to all be miserable on a Wednesday, dude. I want us to all be pissed off and angry about that divisional matchup against the Commies, dude. People went after Riley taking smack, calling him a kid, etc. when he was a grown man. That's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit. Yeah, dude, fucking, I thought Riley was older than he is, dude. SNL skit on how we use different units of measurements. No, but I'll have to check that out, Derek. That's what's up. Anything from the mouth of Will Rock is bullshit. Right on, Riley. Hell yeah, dude. So Riley, dude, do you have a channel, bro? Do you because they all say you got, or is it like what's going on, man? How come when I look up your name I don't find you? How come they all say you make content, dude? What's up with this? What's good? What is this? Yeah, see, all I got is your streams from a couple years ago, dude. What's going on with it, man? Here knows what I heard and whom it's from. Hell yeah. I don't have my own channel. I stopped going on. Shit, and I got sick of people putting up with it because I enjoyed it. Oh, I gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay, for sure, dude. For sure. That's what's up, dude. So you're like a contributing writer kind of type deal. I then went Lions Talk Live with Coach Dan. Gotcha. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. It takes clean setup. Hell yeah, Riley. That's what's up, dude. Bro, that's dope, dude. That's dope. I think that's pretty cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame you, though, dude. And I'm, for what it's worth, dude, that I think it's really shitty the more I'm finding out about this guy and, like, how he treated people. Because, like, it kind of makes it, like, infinitely more difficult for the rest of us, the whole one bad apple type deal. And, like, that's just bullshit, dude. Like, don't treat people like shit, dude, and then, like, oh, excuse me. I seen a bunch of the shit that he was saying about people, dude, and it's just lame, dude. And then what's even funnier is that, I mean, I screenshot it. You can go to my Twitter, dude. I literally have screenshots of a fucking 13K subscriber YouTube channel punching down on a fucking less than 900 subscriber channel. Me. But if you really want to know what's funny, I get more views than he does now. Just kidding. Not quite. But we're getting there. I enjoy talking Lions football. Coach Dan is great. Understands it's just about the team. I'm not privy to anything Will has said about me. But if he wants to do that, I can vouch. He is no good. Hell yeah. Well, and Riley, I take your opinion pretty heavy. You know what I mean? You know what the fuck you're talking about, and you've always been respectable. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, dude, I thought you were older. I thought you were older than you were, dude. So when they're like, yeah, people are calling me a kid, I'm like, well, you're fucking dumb, dude. I'm like, if anybody thinks Riley's a kid, you're dumb. Older sports, maybe taking down Syndicate's channel. How he's had to make articles and tried. Dude, really? I mean, I use AI to make images, but that's about it. Maybe reviews are actual people. Hey, you know, Kane, that could be, dude. I do like to think, I mean, so how's this? If my views are not real people, it's somebody else because one, I don't know how to do that. And two, I'm very, very cheap. I don't spend money on shit, man. I'm not going to spend money on fucking views. Yeah, dude, they're like, how, like, I couldn't even, how do you even make your money back? You know what I'm saying? And it's not even worth it, you know? It can also help anyone with real estate, ask Mike. Hell yeah, dude, that's what's up. I've only had 15 hours as a calling guest. It shows an hour. He flipped to me as soon as I disagreed with him on a few takes. Well, dude, they're like, I don't know, man. People can disagree with takes. That's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit. I interviewed for my football podcast. He then invited me on his show, then nitpicked and critiqued the hell out of everything I did and said. Really? What? Well, that's lame, dude. I must fire when there's fire. Why is that everyone who leaves Will is bad? Can't all be bad. You would say football cool, but more Riley the better. Hell yeah, dude. I like when Riley shows up, dude. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. You know, we'll kind of see how it all goes. Your content is what you would call organic, but basically based. Thanks, Kane. Yeah, I'm just over here beating my head against the wall. Just to be transparent with you guys, I have done something that I am very uncomfortable with doing. Not in that I feel like it's bad or wrong, in that it's not something that I am accustomed to doing. I'm not good at this, and it makes me very uneasy to do so. So, over the next little bit here, if you guys notice some minor tweaks to, you know, maybe the presentation or the thumbnails or just minor adjustments, that is because I have asked for help. I have asked some bigger creators for some advice, for some input, because I'm getting to the point where I don't know the right questions to ask to continue to grow, and I would like to keep this going, you know, keep the momentum going, and I'm starting to get to the point where I think I need to start asking people who know what they're doing some more insights. And the reason why I'm so uncomfortable with doing that is it is very, very difficult for me to ask for help. I don't like to do that. I don't like to burden people with stuff. Everybody's got their own shit going on. And I don't like, you know what I mean? I like to kind of just figure everything out on my own. But if you guys notice some things, it's because I'm, you know, might heed some advice if, you know, it is given to me. I might try some things just to kind of see how they work. But just want to be open with you guys on that. You know what I'm saying? The slow but organic growth will pay off. You're like a bamboo shoot. Hell yeah, Kane. Thank you, man. That's very nice, dude. That's very nice. It's slow, dude. It's slow. You know, I'm just trying to kind of see how it all goes. Just like Roar Lions UK is cool, but I'd like more Anthony person. Gotcha. Stopped watching Rockdown if Riley was gone. Hell yeah. What's up, Alpha? Good to see you, man. We'll pebble. Tell us how you really feel, Sleepy. To jump in and make this about me. You're not making it about you, Riley. I've been waiting. Honestly, I was wondering where you've been, dude. I'd seen you on some of the other videos, dude. I was hoping you're all good, man. I didn't, you know, I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, oh, fucking Riley said this and Riley said that. You know what I mean? But I just, you know what I mean? I'm trying to handle this with as much, like, you know, professionalism as I can, dude. Damn good show, but I will just say this: Dergo Mobby is accurate to a T. Willis, yeah, dude. Well, that's what I was saying yesterday in yesterday's show, dude. When we watched Dergo's final, or I don't know if it's final, but the last installment that he did, I was like, dude, you cooked him so hard, there's nothing left on the bone. I'm just gonna package up the leftovers and send them out the door. You know what I'm saying? His ego's bigger than the moon and just as hollow. Oh. get on Don Wick about tech stuff. He knows it, makes webs. Yeah. So actually, yeah, Mr. Detroit City. That is one. I haven't asked recently, but I do have a line of communication with Don. And I he said that he does graphic design. So I was gonna, when I get to that point of that type of stuff, I'm gonna kind of get his take on it. The one thing that I did kind of notice about a lot of Lions content creators, and this is no slight against them, this is what works for them. I feel like everybody does green screen with a digital display behind them, and I kind of like the physical, like, you know what I mean, like Brad's real, you know what I mean, B-Rad's real. I can touch all this stuff, you know. But yeah, no, I do like the graphics that Motor City does, dude. Yeah, Don P's seems like a cool dude. He also reminds me of my buddy Dalton a lot, dude. Pebble cancer. Yep, for sure. He goes to the channel and says Will Rock called that. Using burner accounts. Football fandom isn't about who call. 100%. I started following Will. Yep. Yeah, Brandy's cool, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad she introduced you to this channel. She brought a lot of people over, dude. So did Mr. Detroit City. So did Brent DeWitt was actually pretty powerful in moving people over here too, dude. Not to seek out Brandy. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, and that was, I do want to say, Brandy, if you're listening, if you check the comments on Dergo's last video, there is a segment where he's showing people commenting on Twitter about winning raffles, right? And your tweet was listed. I did comment on that. I was like, to be fair, Brandy left. I was like, to be fair, Brandy bailed on Will like over a year ago, dude. So I did. Yeah, it was there. But I commented right on that shit. I was like, hey, whoa. You know what I mean? He acknowledged it though. So you're good, dude. You're good. You know what I mean? And you know how we feel, sister. I've talked to you about how I feel about y'all. You know what I'm saying? We all know what's good around here. Yeah, Brandy left a long time ago. Brandy's been here for fucking long time, dude. She's been hanging out here at Hat and Beard Show for a long fucking time, dude. Long fucking time. Well, boys and girls, that's going to be it for today. We're hitting at almost the hour and a half mark, which means I got to get up on out of here now. Hopefully have yourself a good old hump day. Enjoy calculating them freedom units to all you snowbacks up there in Canada. I'm just fucking with you, man. I appreciate the super chat earlier, Raw. That is very nice of you, man. Riley, have a good day, you guys. Mr. Detroit City, don't party too hard. Brandy, stay out of trouble. Rick, take care of business. Forgetting any of you guys, I'm so sorry. Brent, enjoy your hippie morning, you guys. I'll see you guys on Twitter, huh? Sleepy, Kane, come follow me on Twitter, you guys. Mr. Fig, I know you're working, dude. You guys can follow me on Twitter. We're having a good time over there. In case you can't tell, I like to communicate in GIFs. What can I say? Or GIF? I don't know what it is. Hopefully Canada will have freedom units soon. 100%, dude. 100%, dude. All right, fellas. Stay out of trouble. We'll catch you tomorrow right back here at 10 a.m. 11 a.m. or from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube, Rumble, and Kick. Until then, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. We'll catch you next time. Bonga, bonga.